that was a quite exciting Magic. It's good to switch up formats, especially when things get stale after a minute.
Exactly.
You get a new blood, like Modern Horizons 2 comes out.
Yep.
You get all these decks that immediately like blow up. We had that food deck for a minute. That didn't go anywhere, but then the format settles and even your
which I do think that
local meta settles.
I think the food deck actually has some long-term longevity. I think
it'll
really
come
does.
back around.
I think it's good. I think there's a lot of different versions of it. I think that you could have the Feasting Troll King version. You can have that's going to be a thing in the format for a long time.
That deck just is doing a lot. Have you actually seen the new brought back deck, the Cascade?
Cascade brought back? No.
It's a very interesting deck.
Brought back's the double white thing, right?
Double white brings back 2 permanents.
That
left battlefield this turn.
That's yeah.
It's
Solitude.
That seems.
It's bringing back Solitudes and other things.
Yeah, that seems like a lot of fun for sure.
Yeah, it's doing some work.
That's the thing. People want to talk about Modern. People want to. I have conversations with Commander players all the time where it's like, oh well, Commander is just the most interesting dynamic format, and it's like, you know what? I just full-heartedly disagree with you.
Well, you cannot say it's the most diverse format when every deck starts with the same 20 cards.
When you sit down and you look at a pod of 4 players, and every time, no matter the 4 players, the first 2 turns are going to be the same cards you've seen in every other 4-player pod that has ever played the format.
Yep.
That shit's not diverse.
Even if
shit's not diverse.
If you look at the tier 1s, if you look at the tier 20s, you always start off with the Soul Rings, the rocks.
In a 100-card deck, in 4 players, someone in the 4 players is always going to play a Mana Vault or a Soul Ring turn 1 or 2.
Mana Crypt.
And then it goes from there.
And it's one of the things I think... Personally, I think needs addressed in the format of Commander. Price shouldn't be the, how do you put that? The banning factor on a lot of cards.
Right.
And they're banning cards because Golos lately in Commander was banned.
Yeah.
Because it was too popular as a Commander. And if
that
they're doing
seems wrong.
You need to start looking at banning Soul Rings and Mana Crypts and Mana Vaults.
Hey, man. They can't do that because... They print that shit in every Commander. Well, they got to sell that shit.
You can still make cool and interesting cards. If you remember going back to the
I agree with you, but
first Commander decks, that's what got us stuff like...
Yeah. Yes, I can get some money back, 3rd and 4th 10. Everybody gets a print.
The... original Commander decks gave us cards like Scavenging Ooze for the first time.
Yeah.
Cards that really they could test the power level of.
Yeah.
Not harm other formats.
Well, that's where we should be getting back to. I want to see that more, and now it's
pandering to the Commander players, which I understand. Largest format by far.
That's fine. That's fine.
And I always love the Commander supplemental sets they print every other year.
Right.
In between the Masters. And the Masters are turning into a kind of a Commander, for Commander kind of thing. But it's really cool to see things change in Modern and diversifying the formats. With that.
No, I appreciate as a store owner, I have to appreciate what Commander has done because there's lots of cards I would not sell if it weren't for Commander. You know. So I appreciate them leaning into Commander. I appreciate them supplementing the format. I appreciate them encouraging the format. You know, like it is what a big part of the game has become. While I have plenty of criticisms about the fact that it really does feel more like a separate game. It doesn't feel like Magic to me. You know.
I would agree that it's almost a separate game. It's like
it is.
If you're taking. I'm going to take a classic board game here, Catan. Right? And you're playing Settlers of Catan. Everybody knows that board game, loves that board game.
Right.
And they have 15 other versions. You got Seafarers and Traders and all this other things. And every time you add something to it, it's a completely different game, different rules, different sets.
Yeah.
So I think playing with different pieces makes it a new game.
It does. Well, I mean, like, so it's a fundamental thing. So, Magic, you play with 7 cards in hand, right?
Yep.
Commander, you play with 8 cards in hand. Nowadays, Commander, you can maybe play with 9 cards in hand. Basically, thanks to the partner thing in Commander.
Yeah.
And that makes it a different game.
Completely. And I've actually found a format that I've been looking to get into. It's kind of hard, but Canadian Highlander is a very interesting format.
Yeah.
It is diverse, and people...
There's literally no ban list, isn't it?
It's a point list.
Point system.
Right, that's what I'm saying. There's no ban list. It is a point system.
You can literally play every card ever printed except for the vintage ban list. The vintage ban list,
which is the
conspiracy, the
nonsense.
Annie and Scheherazade, I think.
Yeah, the cards that don't make any goddamn sense in the game anyway.
Dexterity cards, stuff like that. But you can play 100 card anything. You can play Goblin Recruiter and spend an hour stacking your deck and lose the next turn.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that...
I know Goran wanted to play.
There's people that are trying. Caleb's trying to get it picked up. And I would be facilitative for sure of it.
I think you would like it a lot more than you'd like things like Commander or anything like that.
You don't have something that says, I have to play these colors.
No, I agree. I agree. A point system. I think a point system is what makes it make more sense. But at the same time, though,
there's a lot of different point systems that actually, because there's Canadian Highlander, there's German Highlander,
right,
Australian Highlander, and they all have different point lists, but it's all based off of 10 points.
Sure. Yeah.
And
like tutors are ridiculously
Yeah.
expensive.
Recall's expensive. Black Lotus is expensive.
I could get behind those formats, but what I really want in a multiplayer format is not.
That's single player. That's 1v1.
Is it 1v1? Okay. I mean, yeah, I'd be alright with that.
What?
Josh is gonna be like, who's got the money to play Double Master Seal while the motions are
You hear that right now? Get down here for Double Master Seal.
the motions.
There will be a double man. You know what? I want to do something spicier than that with that shit. You know what? I don't want to do a double master seal.
6-man buy a box sealed.
No. I want to do an event that is like a partial sealed, partial draft with double masters, with Modern Horizons, with mystery boosters. That's really what I'm saving that shit for. Is somebody who wants to get
chaos
fucking
on top of
crazy. If I'm going to hold on to the product, I'm going to do something fucking wild with it.
You guys introduced me to the draft multiplayer format,
right?
Where you cube, you draft, whatever you're doing, and then you have this huge pod where everybody's playing. It changes the game yet again.
Oh, absolutely,
it's a completely different game.
Yeah.
And
I wonder if
it's not like
cube on
it's not like Commander.
He's got vintage cube.
He's got a vintage cube, yeah. Now
that's fun. Vintage cube is always
the
a good
thing that I
draft.
want to see happening more with players of Magic is people defining their own way to play. Because the beautiful thing about Magic, and it's one of the things that I sell people on Magic about, is the fact that there's all these cards, but you can define your own way to play if you want to. If you get people to back you up, people to say, hey, that sounds fun. The cards are the cards, but you can design your own way to play the game at any point in time, in any way.
So
I want to see that more.
Why I don't support the command zone and what they're doing with Magic in general, I think it's actually negatively affecting for most of the part for command zone.
Right.
And that's another topic entirely. They had Brandon Sanderson, the author, on there. And before Commander Legends came out, he introduced his own rules and some of his own cards that he made for a Commander draft.
Right.
That they did on the show. And I think that actually opened a lot of people's eyes to stuff like that. You don't have to follow Wizards rules.
No. Every format that we know of is a format that just picked up and they chose to support.
Yes.
The formats themselves were just people choosing to play
and Pioneer, I think, in part is failing because of that. Because they seen Frontier and like, we need to make money on that.
Yeah.
And so they're like, hey, we'll make it a format. Shift it a little so it makes sense for us. Which was fine. But then they banned a bunch of cards and then gave no other support to the format.
Yeah. Until way after the fucking fact and when nobody cares anymore.
Well, we got these Pioneer decks that aren't selling anywhere.
Yeah,
that aren't worth the value that they're printed It's just one of those things that Wizards needs to address and act faster on some of those
For
things.
sure. Well, I think it's Wizards needs to. Wizards has all kinds of shit they need to do. Wizards has a lot of shit they need to do.
What do you think about them making Arena and Paper 2 separate games now with the digital only cards?
So, I didn't know that was a thing until somebody came in asking for one of those cards in Paper, and I'm like, I don't know what the fucking I don't know what you're talking about. And then I looked it up, and I'm like, oh, so it's not a real card.
Yeah,
it's just not a real card. And I'm like, so I understand why they do it. I think personally, as a player, it's complete bullshit. But at the same time, I don't really care that they do it. So it's if they want to do it, if they want to have this whole other environment that's strictly like this digital atmosphere, digital environment, I don't really care. Go for it. It doesn't really necessarily affect anything. I think it's bullshit. I think it takes away from the game as much as Commander takes away from the game. And as an old school player, I don't want anything to take away from the game that has been just this crucible of what my life is, you know?
Yeah.
So I don't like it, but I know they're gonna do it anyway. And so it's fine because it can exist. People want to talk, people want to do it, they can play it, it's fine. And I just know that you're doing that over there, I'm doing that over here. And I don't really give a shit. So if you want to play bullshit on Arena, go for it.
So my viewpoint on this is we're going to start seeing more and more of a separation from Wizards of the Coast and Paper Magic. We already have
we absolutely.
We already seen Channel Fireball hosting that large event in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And it is literally called the Channel Fireball Vegas event.
Right.
It cannot be called a Grand Prix. It cannot be called a Magic Fest. And it's literally where enough people at Channel Fireball, the prize child of Wizards of the Coast, finally said, no, we're doing a large event in Paper. People want to play Paper Magic. It is time for us to do this.
Yep.
Wizards of the Coast didn't support it.
Yep.
And I think that's clear-cut enough for me and almost anybody to see that, okay, this is now going to be 2 separate things.
It is.
Pro Magic going forward is going to be this online thing that is changing.
It is. That's
cards are going to change. Yep. Like they've done just now. They've changed power level of cards on Arena from what they first printed.
Right.
Not paper-wise, but the digital-only cards, they've changed. So I wouldn't be surprised later down the road if they print another Oko in paper or Oko Light card, and then they change it online and say the paper, well, sorry. Which they kind of did with Companions.
Oh, they absolutely did.
Yeah.
They absolutely did. They did whatever they wanted with those because they made a mistake, and that was
a mistake, and I think that was an easy fix.
Yeah.
The problem I have with stuff like that is it's very confusing to new players in Paper.
It is. It absolutely is. Because it doesn't make any sense. Because there's no, online, you can just, shit's automatically errata. But in Paper, people actually have to, hey, this card says this thing. This doesn't make any sense.
And you go to a tournament as a new player, coming here for your first F, and then someone explains, no, you have to pay 3 to put that in hand. It's that card doesn't say that. And nobody explains it to them.
And that's, I think that is definitely happening. They are creating a rift that is going to be super permanent.
I don't think it's a necessarily rift. It's like somebody playing different formats. I can still go on even my phone here and play Arena and draft with people, and it's the same exact draft in the best 3. That's the one. There's bot smoothers. It's not the same.
Right. Well, the thing is though, there it is a rift because of that. It is a rift because there are bot smoothers. It's rift because there's aids digitally to how you play the game. There's things that smooth out the way you play the game. There's all this shit.
There's no more missed triggers.
Exactly,
okay,
and that's the thing. There is a definitive rift between those two things, and it's fine that it's there. It's fine that they've cultivated a digital format to play the game. I don't care about that. That's go for it. I don't mind. But there is a difference. And they are not supporting the paper Magic, and they are creating, in the choices that they make in card design, and the way they print the sets, and the way they handle the business generally, they are widening a gap between their product and the community.
Well,
and that's an issue. With
the Hasbro statement in 2019 that they have to increase sales repeatedly for 4 years or something of that sort, it's become a lot more money driven.
Oh, absolutely.
Behind it.
Absolutely.
We can clearly see that there's
a billion things.
It's How many sets are slated for next year?
It's something insane.
Yeah.
It's mind-boggling, really.
And then the first thing, you look at secret layers.
Oh, which
selling
is
direct to players like that.
Yeah, that's...
Which, don't get me wrong, I bought a few.
Yeah.
They're cool cards, but as soon as they printed the secret layer exclusive cards...
Right.
Yeah. We knew it was lost for them taking fan input over money.
Yeah, yeah. Now they've changed the formula of the game so much that they really have splintered it into, back to the Commander thing, they have splintered the game into different games. They
Very
really
much.
Have. And
different
they did it consciously.
Sell more, though.
Yeah.
If you have somebody buying cards for Standard.
Yeah. No,
cards for Commander.
I get that, and I don't actually mind it so long as, because right now, like you said before, Channel Fireball says we're going to put on this tournament, and when COVID happened, I knew what was going to happen was we were going to see kind of a return to the olden days of Magic, where game stores just say, "Hey, we're doing this. This is what we do," and so long as the company does not impede that, I think it doesn't matter. So long as Wizards is willing to let the community of Magic do what the community of Magic needs to do, there's no problem. And so the only thing I'm afraid of, the only thing I'm trepidatious about, is if Wizards decides to say, oh, well, no, you can't do this or that tournament, that's where the issue is going to be, because the way they design the product, the way they design the cards, the way they handle the entire business is making local game stores go this route because there's no other option for us. This is what we need to do. The community wants paper Magic. The community wants dynamic tournaments. They're not going to provide it. That's fine that they don't want to. They can make all the money they want on digital bullshit, and they will. Nobody's going to stop them. Nobody can say anything about it, so they're going to do it. But we, as the community of Magic that's existed for 25 years, needs to do what we need to goddamn do. So everything will be copacetic and cool so long as Wizards allows us to do that.
The only real problem with that Wizards could take action against you for would be pulling your WPN, and that'd be pulling your supplier, right?
That would be locking down certain products. It wouldn't do anything as far as the actual singles, the secondary singles market. And it wouldn't do anything for tournaments. We could still hold our own tournaments. And by God, if there were a moment where Wizards says, well, we're going to pull this or that from you, guess what? I'm punk fucking rock, and I have been my entire life. I built my business around this game. I'm going to play this fucking game. So, pull what you want. I'm going to figure something out. I mean, that's just me personally, as a local game store owner that I am.
Well, they already tried to pseudo undercut the secondary market of even sealed product by selling it on Amazon directly.
They've been deliberately...
and then cutting the number of draft boosters they're allowing
They've been attacking the local game stores a lot. And that's because of their corporate overlords. And I don't even fault Wizards of the Coast per se for that.
Do you fault Hasbro directly then?
I fault whoever owns Hasbro. Because it's not as simple as one
entity or one thing.
There's more than that. And,
well, there's always corporate greed. We're in late stage capitalism.
I fault. There's people at fault. There's people at fault because they don't care, and that's fine.
let's just blame it on late stage capitalism and move on.
Yeah, no, it is what it is. It's just the entity of it is the world that we live in now, and there's not anything to say about it. It is what it is. We're in the full throes of fucking 21st century first world capitalism that says profit over everything, and anybody that's somewhat aware knows what's happening, you know.
Yeah.
But the thing that I do appreciate in a game like Magic is that it can exist outside of that shit.
Yes.
And that's the thing that I've said to people before. Like, so come the apocalypse, the world fucking burns. Everything's
no more new Magic cards.
Everything's gone. Everything's fucked. Literally, we're scavenging for food and shit. You know what I'm still gonna be doing?
Playing Magic.
I'm gonna fucking play Magic because the game is still up here.
Exactly.
I will write that shit. I will recall those cards. I will scribble them on pieces of burnt fucking wood, and I will play the game of
How
Magic.
many times have we had friends around this area say they've been in jail and wrote on playing cards?
Exactly.
For Magic cards.
It doesn't matter. Like the thing that, and that's the thing that I want the community and the players to know. I want them to know that the game exists in us. The game exists in the players. It doesn't exist in the company. They created it. That's fine.
That ain't creative. That's semantics, but
Yeah. It's they
control it. Right?
They put it out there.
Yeah.
You know, it's there. They manage it. They manipulate it. But the spirit of it exists in the players, day to day, in every community they exist within. So we don't need them to play the game, you know? And that's... So whatever they do, it doesn't matter, really.
Well, the biggest thing with the paper tournaments coming back, there was several people I've talked to about this, is Wizards of the Coast wasn't making money off that.
Right.
Really. They'd put all this money and pay Channel Fireball to host it and all this stuff. And they'd end up barely breaking even with the vendor rentals and all that stuff. And it was just more publicity stunt. And when you look at it, on the other hand, you can run it through Arena. It looks better.
Oh, yeah.
No
Absolutely.
shuffling on time.
Yeah.
I understand Wizards' standpoint on transferring to these online Worlds tournaments and stuff like that.
No, and that's fine. Yeah, absolutely. It makes sense. It's logistical.
It looks better. It makes sense.
Yep.
What Wizards never got money out of was those vendors that are buying and selling cards. They increase their stock.
Right.
They sell so many cards that weekend.
Right.
And there's a lot of players that relied on those larger tournaments to in smaller towns. We're not talking like everything happens in large cities. So we're talking these smaller towns when they had, for us, let's say a tournament in Indy.
Right.
I don't know how many people I haven't seen in a couple years because we used to go to Indy and hang out with different people and be able to...
Yeah.
Hell, even people that didn't have a lot of money, that played a lot of Magic through the last year, that won Magic tournament in Indy, they could dump $1,000 worth of cards, get $1,000 for a weekend, have a lot of fun, come back.
No, it was a living, breathing community that did so much for the players and for the business. Like,
yes,
there was,
and Wizards not supporting that comeback to that is what's frustrating me. I understand it.
Oh yeah,
completely. And I'm actually kind of happy they're not trying to force Channel Fireball or other people to stop.
No, I agree with you. I get it. It's logistically really hard for them at the moment, potentially, and that's fine. And that's where, like, it depends on us as a community. It depends on all the individual players, all the little local game stores. It depends on us working all together. It depends on us, hiving together to make bigger events happen. Like, I think the reality, what we want out of the game, and most of us could probably agree on what we want out of the game, we have to make happen ourselves now. And so long as they don't fuck with us and try to stop us from doing that, I think everything will be fine.
I don't see how it could be in Wizards' interest at all to try and stop us from doing it. They should encourage it. They are on some level trying to encourage the in-store play with the store championships.
They're
and
trying.
Stuff like
they're
that.
trying, and we appreciate that. We appreciate
low
that.
fruit for it, but like seeing paper Magic being played, even like here, I had such a thrill watching people play at any level of competitive play.
No, it's
getting excited about it and getting involved in it.
Because the thing is, for any player has any real level of experience, any age in the game, what makes Magic Magic is the community of Magic, is the paper playing. This game wouldn't exist if it weren't for the paper playing. This game wouldn't exist. The community wouldn't exist without the dynamic personal interactions that happen in tabletop play, in local tournament play, in like it has to be. That's the beauty of the game as a whole, is that of all the intellectual sports, of all the games that can be played, you get so much out of the personal interaction of the game. And it goes beyond just like how people interact in playing a game. It goes to the community. It goes to like, a local store like ours where it's like somebody wants to play something. Oh, well, I don't have the cards. There's 3, 4, 5 people in that room that are like, hey, dude, I got you. I will let you borrow my cards. I will give you my cards. I will make sure that you can fucking play, because all that matters is we play.
So, let me tell you about my nephew. His name is Eden. He is 15. I finally got him to keep coming down to this card shop in Wabash. Head-to-head games. Good little store.
Right.
So, he's starting to play. He's wanting to build commander decks and get involved. Right? And the outpouring of people buying cards for him, giving him cards, making sure he has what he wants to play, has been astounding. And this has been over a month or so. Like,
oh, yeah.
It really shows you that people just want to play the game and want people to have fun with the game.
Exactly. Yeah, no, for sure.
And everybody has their different version of fun. That's an old Magic saying right there.
For sure. Everybody does.
Some people have a zero fun game. I'm going to sit here and take 2-hour turns, and that's
that's the beauty of the game, is that there is a space for everyone. Everyone.
As long as you like gaming, you will love Magic.
Exactly. There is a space for you, no matter what kind of game you like to play, how you like to play it. There's a space in the game for that, and that's what makes Magic special, because it's the only game that really has that.
Yes.
And it comes, like, you can be technical, you could be casual, you could be story-driven, you could be, anything you want. You can get out of the game if you want to get it out of the game.
Oh, and there's so many layers. There's gentlemen that I know that every time they see a legendary creature they are on it like, I have to build that commander deck today.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
And they'll go so far as like, I can't put that card in my commander deck. Why? It's a good green card. It doesn't do with werewolves
and that's what that fucking format's supposed to be. Little tiny tangent there, but that's the idea, and that's what. So I've had a couple people that have talked to me, because through tattooing, I sell the fuck out of Magic.
Yeah,
and that's why I do the thing I do at my shop, is that I get to sell the game to people, and I get to sell tattoos to those people as well. So I get to make bridges here. That's what I do. And I've had a couple people that are very game driven, that haven't played Magic but like to play games, but like the story and lore of games, and it's like, they want a game that's lore driven. It's like, okay, so Magic is not necessarily purely lore driven, but you can make it as lore driven as you fucking want to.
It's fucking warm in here.
It is. Christ. Yeah, it's. We've had 4 motherfuckers in here the whole night.
Yeah, I heard Kevin. Kevin was very echoey the few times he spoke.
Yeah, well, it's fine. Anywho, yeah, you can get in summation. Yeah, no. We've been fucking jabber jawing for a minute here, so.
Listen to you.
Yeah. Yeah, no, fucking, at the end of the day, Magic is a fucking special game, and there's not anything that is exactly
Magic.
Magic.
I tried to pull it up a couple times.
Dude, we were trying.
Like, it fucking
I tried on this device.
I
tried on this device, and nothing.
You guys, the first time that you had Matt on, you guys were questioning his deck choices and all this, and like I thought about it. Like me and John do this every time he plays. We say, well, this should be this, and then he just fucking wins.
Yeah.
And like, and like you guys, and I was like underdog. I'm like, he's about to win this fucking match.
Yeah.
And sure enough,
yeah. Well,
like there was never a doubt.
The John Parker match, he got squished. We saw John struggle earlier. Yeah. We saw John kind of like not draw the cards he needed, and then when he played Matt, goddamn, he did
what he needed.
He did what he needed to do. He fucking got there, hands down.
To drill that hole, man.
I know, I'm working on it. Improvements every day, man. I got a new fucking video card coming for the computer. I got a new fucking CPU. I got to do that. I got to do everything. But it's all happening. God damn it. It's all happening.
One step at a time. One step at a time.
Crack that shit, though.
Of course, you show up the day that I don't.
It's been good shit tonight, man. It's been fun. Yeah.
It's been a good time.
No, you should come back when you can.
I try to get to it.
It'd be good shit.
Yeah.
Be fun. Patrick was good tonight, though. Patrick was fun.
I listened. Yeah. I didn't get to watch much Magic.
Yeah.
I was working, and I literally just got done.
Yeah.
So I've been working since 7:30 in the morning until right before I got here.
We did not get the turnout that I wanted to get for this event, but it was a fucking good time. Yeah. Regardless, and I really appreciate everybody coming out.
I think if you do it as more of a regular event with a regular prize structure, there will be.
Well, and that's going to be the thing. I want to have bigger events, but
it's a hard build up, and you really got to go viral with some of that stuff.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think it's just hard to get like the normal everyday person to.
Well, you know what?
Extra.
We had a lower turnout, but we had a turnout.
I know they've been capping some of the $1,000 guarantee, which makes the store easier. More than $1,000 at $60 a pop.
Yeah.
And not this place, but
right.
Where was that? South Bend, I think.
Well, this next year we are gonna put on some 1K events. This next year, absolutely nothing's gonna stop us. Which plays into what we were just talking about with the community of Magic just taking control of our tournaments because we want to have this thing happen.
You did one once.
No, we did not quite get to. We were going to, and then it didn't happen because of COVID.
No, before that, you guys did a 1K before that.
No, we didn't.
What did you call it then?
We didn't get to do it.
You did a 1K.
I'm with Dustin here. I think you did.
I know because I won. Yeah, you did one. You had a judge here and everything. You did a 1K.
No, that wasn't a 1K. That was something else.
Called it.
Maybe we did.
Yeah, you did. It was well before COVID. It was a year before.
I work a fucking lot, and I don't know. Everything bleeds together anymore.
But all it was the long way of saying you did one and I won.
Yeah.
That's all I wanted to do was talk about me.
What'd you win with?
Talk about me. I won with Sultai Control.
Standard or modern?
It was modern. It was Mystic Sanctuary. Before anybody was abusing Mystic Sanctuary, it was a brand new card.
Which
you
became
read the card and been like,
also,
that's busted.
In the no ban list thing.
Impulsive Marasa.
Where was that?
There was no Mystic. We were talking about so many cards that we haven't seen tonight.
Dude, we didn't see. There was no Eldrazi.
I know.
It was crazy. Crazy.
I even you guys were like, what? Like, no, nothing beats that. And I'm like, actually, the one deck that did beat Winter Eldrazi, the one deck that did beat it is the one that Matt is piloting right now.
Yeah,
it's on the screen.
Right. Yeah.
That was the only thing that took first place finish other than Eldrazi.
Right.
It was every single tournament was either Eldrazi or Affinity. Those were the only two decks.
Yep. I still think your favorite to play Affinity there or Eldrazi there.
Sure, but you have a chance.
Yeah, you have a chance.
The thing about the Eldrazi deck is it's like
they get missteps.
It's the greatest pressure disruption deck ever.
Yeah, no, it's obnoxious. So obnoxious.
It's just like I
Because
take your
the
best
pressure
card
is
on turn
disruption.
2 and then I murder
Because
you
you
on
get
turn
fucking,
3.
you get,
Oh, yeah.
you get, what is it? The fucking reality smasher. That is pressure and disruption. Like,
Thought not seer.
well, you get Thought Knot Seer, then you can lead. The thing is, you get to lead Thought Knot Seer into Reality Smasher. It's like, okay, I'm going to pull a card out of your hand and make these free things 4/4s and attack you. And then the next turn, I play a 5/5 that makes all these things 5/5s.
And
then
24.
Yeah, and then you can interact with it, but it costs you a card. Like, that's insane. It's so
And
crazy.
yeah, there's so much that deck did on every axis with
No,
Bugan. It was
insane.
Nuts.
How many people we actually
We had 8. We had 8.
It
it was fine.
Enough for it to be legit.
Yeah, it was a legitimate
like,
tournament.
There were so many things that I want to see
Right,
in a tournament like that. Like, I want to see Pod.
right.
Like I know that's a smaller barrier to entry. Like, you have
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
That's a hard deck to play. It's
Yeah.
a hard deck to build. Like,
Well,
you have to put some time into it.
We definitely are going to be doing this regularly from now on, I think. People
New
really
brand.
enjoyed it. It's
Yeah.
going to be once a month, probably last weekend of the month, 6 o'clock is going to be the thing.
Yeah.
So we're going to see it again. We're going to cultivate the format. It's going to be a lot of fun.
Are you still going to allow proxies as the
Yeah,
band
we
cards?
will actually, because I don't want anybody spending money on cards they can't play. Like
On
that.
top of that,
I mean,
it's
if it takes off well enough, then
Well,
eventually
people
just
probably
give an
just-
announcement. and-
Sure, but they'll do that anyway, whether or
Yeah.
not we allow proxies or
Oh
not.
yeah.
The people that give a shit, because that's a very natural Magic thing, is to give a shit.
I
and
wouldn't
be
have
like,
wanted to play with proxies.
Well,
honestly.
exactly.
Oh my
Not
god,
that would I.
it bothers me so much.
Exactly. So there's 3 people in the room that are like, "Fuck playing with the proxies." So I know these guys are going to spend money anyway.
So I didn't even get to watch much of the video, so I was experiencing all of it just like a podcast. I was just listening to it. Was there a lot of noticeable proxies on camera?
Just the band cards.
They
The only
weren't even
one that
terribly
fucked me up was
noticed.
the Mycosynth
Yeah, that
That was the one that
he
was hard
did
to
a
see.
different art, old border Mycosynth.
I don't even know where that art came from.
I don't know either. It was not a magic
That
card
was
art.
the only thing that I didn't understand.
Like, we were looking through his sideboard when I was going through, and it's like, oh, he doesn't have a Mycosynth in there? That seems weird.
Yeah.
And then he just pulls one out, and like, well, what is that card?
Yeah.
I'm like, Mycosynth, I don't know, I guess he has
Okay,
one.
yeah. So, though Matt was thinking about playing Splinter Twin, and he printed off preordains, and he brought the printed copies in, and he cut them out. I'm like, dude, I'm glad you told me that was preordained, because I would not have known what the fuck that was. Because it was I don't know what it came. It was a secret layer, I'm sure. But it was an insane looking mess of bullshit. Like, there's no way I could have told that was preordained at all.
But then again, have you looked at some of the magic cards, just period, that they're printing right now?
No,
some of the arts is just like,
yeah, there's too much. That's the one thing.
You almost would
too
just
much art.
You almost just wish that they would use like the new tokens. They have a regular back and then it's just a frame.
Yeah.
If you just write preordain across it in a
Yeah.
Sharpie,
Actually,
that
you know
would
what?
be a better proxy.
So next time we do it, I'm gonna actually say that.
Yeah.
Like, you can print either 2 things:
print recognizable
a
art.
good proxy of a recognizable art, or write the goddamn card name on a blank card. We'll take either of those things.
That's fair.
That's fine.
There
We'll figure
is
it
one
out.
thing they've done recently with card art that I really like, and that's the blackout, the black and white.
Yeah.
I've really liked those.
So-
Especially, have you seen the new Thalia art for the black and white?
The Thalia or the Mina?
No, Thalia Guardian.
Give me a beer, Dustin. Give me a beer. I didn't see that one.
The art on that is amazing. I really, it's one of the better
Thank you, sir.
arts that I've seen in a minute.
So with a graphic black artwork.
Oh god, it's unbearably hot here.
I'm sorry.
I'm doing another tournament. I was gonna see if you want to go to downtown and have a beer.
That might be the case. Whenever we
It
get
looked like the biggest circle jerk
Commander,
group of Commander players
no.
out there ever. It's just like you get like 2 pods of like 15 going out. It's nuts.
Oh god, like I was like,
know.
oh, I might join a game of Commander, and they're like, oh, we have 4 in this one. You want to join? I'm like, I'm never gonna join a game of
That's the
Commander
cat,
that has
man.
Already at 4. That is the art.
Oh no, that's great.
Like
That's
that
great.
is
So
wonderful.
what pisses me off about that, as the artist that I am, as a tattooer, I've spent years with people being like, John, you should make art for magic. And I'm like, oh, they wouldn't use my kind of art for magic. That's crazy. They wouldn't have anything to do with the artwork that I do. In the last 5 years, every goddamn set, they're using artwork that is exactly the artwork I would do. And I'm like, fuck.
Maybe I should
Now I'm stuck tattooing. Like, fuck. It's so annoying. No,
They even did the tattoo series.
I know.
The Secret
I know.
Lair.
Which, I mean, I don't.
It was very retro tattoo
well, it's
style.
traditional.
But yeah.
And I don't do that shit because that's what I say about that. A noise is what I say about that. No, it's yeah, it'd be cool, but I really love the basic lands from Midnight Hunt, but they all look like swamps.
They do.
Every
That was a
land,
poor
they
choice.
all look like swamps.
I feel like that was
And
a very
We've
poor
actually had
choice.
issues in coverage where
Yeah.
it's like, well, how is he going to do that? He didn't have a forest.
I can
It's
one-up
like,
that.
oh, that is a forest.
I've had issues in actual gameplay with myself looking at the cards. Like, just draw your hand, you're like, ah, keep this, it's all good.
Oh
Fuck.
shit!
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 forests and a bunch of black cards.
Yeah.
No, it's like I
Oh,
love
can't-
them. And but they could you know, you can make it not look like a swamp.
You could easily.
You could. Speaking as an artist, like you could just like put
Watercolor.
more- right?
Just put
Yeah.
a splash on it.
Well, even if not that, like you could just draw more trees or draw
Green trees.
less obnoxious shapes. I don't know.
Well,
You
they're
can
all
find hand-
very. I think it was a poor choice to go with the Innistrad art on these blackout lands
right.
because everything on Innistrad looks so desperate and
Sure.
dire.
Yeah.
and,
Exactly. That is the flavor of Innistrad.
and
It's
it does
pretty
make
not
everything.
okay.
Yeah.
Things are fucked.
they keep trying to one up themselves on these
Basics.
land art.
Well, so the one
Let's
thing.
go back to Mirage and Ice Age and redo those
Right.
arts because those are
The-
fucking
Well,
Classic.
So
unbeatable.
one thing they another unstable set's been announced, and I was like, why? Because the only draw to any of those sets is the basic lands, and now they make a special basic land for every set. So who fucking cares
Well, what was the last
about
unstable
these
set?
nonsense sets?
It wasn't even unstable. They
was
did
the
a
box set.
they did a box set that
actually-
nobody bought.
Nobody bought, but actually, so that fucked me up. That was really weird to me because to me, that's the best way to market that. Because the only thing people cared about was the lands. So instead of, I'm going to buy packs of
And hope to
cards
pull
that I
the
can't
spoil.
play to get the lands, I could just buy a couple of these box sets
And half the
and
lands.
get an
They
actual
should,
number
they
of
should
these
just do like
lands.
flashcard lands where it's literally just like a forest is just a green F on a white back.
Yeah.
And, like,
See, okay, that's the
island
direction
is
that
the
really
island
fancy
is the
fucking-
blue U.
Yeah.
You know. Like,
That could actually be really dope.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like that's the direction they could go. These lands, they're getting serious art, great art.
Right.
You can't complain about the art on. They could go completely in the other direction and just be like letters, just big fucking letters on a white background.
They could do everything.
Like, but on top of that, like they did the Secret Lair, the full text.
I actually thought those were cool. I didn't want to spend the money on them, but I thought that was cool.
They are hilarious, but again, it's one of those things. What are you gonna do for an unset to sell it?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no, there's no reason to even fuck with an unset. That's why I like the box set. Because it's like, here you go. Here's the cards in prepackaged, ready to play form. Because there's no reason to buy packs of that.
And I just want to say to the
There's
listeners,
no reason.
you might be tempted. Like they're like, oh, it's so fun just to draft one time. That set is not fun. Okay, I haven't seen the cards, but I'm sure they're terrible.
Oh, that was a dude.
They're obnoxious for store owners or store
The
employees.
last time, it was so frustrating because it was when Tommy got picked up for what he got picked up
Yeah,
for, and
I
Dustin
had-
was helping, and it was the fucking thing like, there's like a duress, and it's like, somebody else has to pick the
They
card.
kept
so
picking me. bad mistake. Because if you're making me walk all the way over there, I'm taking the thing you don't want me to take. Like, every time.
Yeah, every time.
Obnoxious, dude.
Like, there's so many things that made that set horrendous. There was the statement they had to put out: you cannot touch your opponent on
dude,
purpose
that was
with
so
another
silly.
card.
Yeah, that was
Like,
so silly.
you can't assault your opponent. Ah, damn. Like, should have known.
No, somebody called me over to do the duress thing, and like, I was like, all right, okay, so I have to look at his hand, like, you know what? Taking this, and you're welcome because you shouldn't have been playing that terrible card.
And there was the one that you player outside the game takes the turn of your opponent, and like, who was it though? Some below average player here was playing it, and one of the Mosiers picked up the turn.
We don't have below average players here.
Average players. One of the Mosiers picked up the turn and played it better than I think the player playing it would have. And it's just one of those things that's like, that's not entertaining at all. Like,
yeah,
it's fun for some people.
As an employee here, like an actual legit employee here, basically, I was working here a couple times. Like, that shit was annoying. Like, I hated that set. I had no interest in playing that. And like it's goofy. Like you're doing all this goofy shit. You have to like stand up and say things. And
yeah.
Like, oh god, it was like
my personal least favorite set in recent memory was Battle Bond. The whole premise.
As far as those weirds, I don't really like those. Like I hated Conspiracy. Like I don't really like that. Those types of sets where the weird cards that are one-offs. That's the only place you'll ever play them is in that one draft. So I'm with you on Battle Bond. That was
Battle Bond was just so weird. You drafted with a person. You did.
It was a limited format for people who like Commander.
I'd say Conspiracy was more than that. This was two-headed giant draft.
Yeah.
Craziness. It didn't really flow well.
Like the Battle Bond seemed a little geared towards Commander for me.
Well, every set that isn't.
What Commander player likes limited? Like it was a limited format for Commander.
The Conspiracy. Well, so Battle Bond, I didn't get to draft a whole lot, but Battle Bond seemed better than Conspiracy. Conspiracy was a shit show.
I preferred Conspiracy over Battle Bond. Battle Bond just seemed. The drafting portion was insanely clunky to me.
Right.
Did not flow well.
So I don't disagree with that. My issue with Conspiracy, I actually liked the idea, what they did with it. I enjoyed that. I enjoyed what mechanically the game did with the space. What I didn't like is what people did with the design space that they made. Because me, Gordon, and Kevin were at an event and we did a draft with Conspiracy, and I was in a pod by myself of 4 people. Well, 2 of the people in the pod were buddies. So those 2 people shit on everyone else. Drafted together to draft the same archetypes to support each other and shit on everyone else. And that's what I didn't like about that.
People being shitty.
Thing.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's things that you used to... I remember Gordon talking about, we went to a GP and they did their little... like cube commander thing,
right.
You know, the 4-person cubes of commander that you could just play on demand. And he said that he got to, he was big into commander and he went and played. And he said that there were 2 guys at his table just running the show, and they were probably there all weekend just mopping up because like the one dude's deck was just built to make the other dude's deck work, you know, like
exactly.
like they were just literally.
I've seen that a lot. One of the ways I combat that, because I still like Commander just as a fun format.
Right.
I have a mono red deck that will win or lose on turn 2 or 3, and I'm done with the game regardless.
Right. No, that's the thing. Like, so I do as much. I mean, I fucking hate Commander.
Yeah,
I fucking hate it.
Mm-hmm.
But I still appreciate the space
I saw somebody put
is Commander.
Pictures, like,
I still do.
I
enjoy people. I enjoy seeing people explore the space. I enjoy seeing people play that format earnestly and honestly. Like, there is still something that is there that is pure, but the community has just moved away from what is pure of the format. So now we just get a format that is just what it is.
So I have
It's
seen
just
something
not
Let's go back to playing for Annie.
glorious happen in Wabash where he started doing Saturdays where he gives a pack per win per pod.
Right.
All right. And it started with just casual commander decks, people playing for fun, doing an actual commander game instead of spikes. There was one guy who started building out these decks and putting a lot of money into it and a lot of
Right.
time and would start continuously win. So what started to happen is instead of people making better commander decks, they literally just targeted him till he lost every time.
Right.
You can't control 3 other people.
Yeah.
No matter how
For
good
sure.
your control deck is or your aggro deck, they just killed him and then continue to play commander. He gets frustrated. It's like, I gotta change my commander decks. So he builds different ones. Every time still, they just targeted him down.
Yeah.
Well, eventually you get another spike to come in and start doing the same thing. And what it is now is the owner will literally set a group of them aside and they will play a game by themselves repeatedly all
Right.
day. There's 4 or 5 of them, and it's allowed the other players to still say, yeah, I'm going to play my werewolf deck.
Right.
What's in it? Werewolves.
Right.
And have fun with it.
Sure. Sure.
And it's something I don't see enough in the...
So they make the people with the busted ass shit play each other instead
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they-
Yeah, no, that's
That's
what
actually
Grand Theft.
solid.
That's what Grand Theft Auto did with their lobbies. Like if you
Yeah.
blow up enough, like people shit enough times, then they put you in.
Yeah.
Like every time
And-
you log in, you will be in a lobby with
Yeah,
other
and that's
people that are just trying to
fine.
blow you
I
up.
like that. Like,
I-
put the alphas with the alphas.
Games?
You know, just
They
like,
do
hey,
the same thing.
sit
They'll
here
look
and
through
do
your
that
deck.
shit.
This is a power deck. You belong in this queue.
Mhm.
This is a casual deck. Like they will actually look through your deck and decide.
well,
what
now
queue
now
you
that
belong.
it took a while.
Editor's note: we've thrown a couple gimmies out there. Fuck Elkhart, fuck Wabash. Come play it. Take action.
We are
No more
an
freebies.
inarguable amount cooler.
Yeah.
We're a fucking pretty cool store, and yeah, I would challenge anybody that would come and play at my store that would want to then come go play at anybody else's store.
100% this is a lot more casual, a lot more laid back. Like, there's drinks here, there's
Whoa.
tattoos here.
I'm
There's
wild
fucking
being
amazing-
competitive.
before the next invitation. Do we have a date yet?
Yeah, it's been we've had the date. I got the date for all next year, motherfucker.
We'll throw it out there. So I
So
know.
January 29th is the next invitation,
All right, 2 days after my birthday.
and then
Oh, don't
So
worry,
you
you'll win
won't
it,
be
right?
sober by then. So I was
Yeah.
like,
April
Cheers to
30th
other
is
people.
it invitational after that, and then yeah, I've got them all figured out.
They're written down somewhere. I fucking.
It's all good. I'm taking my ass is taking time off to do commentary. It's gonna be fucking sweet. Unique playmat.
You might need to. It's going to be another month then. I might be working.
I've already set the time aside.
Cool.
I got a whole next year planned. I finally fucking learned my
his own
lesson.
boss, you were for coming. He says time aside.
Well, it took me quite a bit to actually sit down and fucking do it.
Well, yeah, we understand.
We've met you, John. It's okay.
Yeah.
Your breakthrough tattoos are 2023. We understand it.
I'm booked until March, which is nuts. Like, it's
And then
nuts.
March is tax
That's
time,
crazy.
so you're booked through all of next
Yeah,
year,
no, I'm-
basically, if
I'm
you don't
fucking-
come in.
I'm
I told you I need to get into you, but it's,
Recurring schedule. That's what I'm doing for all my regulars.
When
when are we doing? We'll figure that out later.
You
I'm
pick a
looking at your
day of the month,
slideshow.
and then there we go.
When you finish Tommy's blackout, whiteout sleeve,
Oh yeah.
that needs to be on the
No,
side.
his
You need to get tattoo art of
I know.
magic cards.
No,
on
there will be. There will be. I threw this intro scene together today
Oh,
just so
that's
we
cool.
have
It's
another
really
scene.
cool. You guys, I tuned in. You guys were talking. I saw this. I'm like, I think your camera's broken.
yeah. No, I
This is
set
the worst match I've ever seen.
Yeah, I set this up to have an intro scene, but no, I'm
Nobody's
gonna.
doing anything.
I'm definitely gonna put tattoo shit, and Tommy's shit will because all his forearm is just magic art. It's,
Pile driver shit.
it is.
Yeah.
He's got Guardian Beast, he's got Pile Driver. We're gonna do Bad Moon. We're gonna do the fucking Chain Veil on there. It's
Sweet.
gonna be fucking sweet. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's it's been a fucking fun night to take action.
I've enjoyed myself. And
Yeah,
get back
I
up
missed
this
out
way.
on everything, so that's
Yeah.
cool.
Well, next
Fuck you guys.
week you won't. No, we had good stuff. Yeah, anytime you want to fucking come out, Jacob, come on out, man.
I'm gonna try
it's
to
been fun.
get this way more often, but
Yeah. Next
problem
week, I'm
soon.
going to try to have the third mic set up, have all that. I'm probably going to rearrange the whole room again. This third time.
I'm trying to
I've
get
done that.
to some more modern leagues and
Yeah.
hopefully get a couple 3-0s that we can.
I'm telling you,
we can
challenge.
The
challenge
I want to get a few of them. You know, it'd be nice if I had more than one.
Right.
And just have like a Saturday where it's just like
Yeah.
I'll just set up a table with a
that's-
couple decks. And,
Dude, I want to encourage that for everybody that's qualified. I want to fucking make a goddamn Magic Fight Club in here. I want to fucking everybody that's qualified for a 3-0, and everybody that's qualified for the Invitational, people can throw out challenges and you have to meet them. And it's like you're playing for your point. Like you gotta show
Isaiah's
up.
at like
you gotta,
3 points.
Yeah,
just
Isaiah's
fucking
got
get
3
him out
points
there.
now. Like you gotta throw down. You gotta
Like,
fucking
he has
put that
0
shit on
points.
coverage. We'll record that. You could lose all your points and get out of the qualifier just because you're gambling. That's what
One
we're trying
person,
to
and Dustin ends up with 15 points at the end of it. There is nobody else. He's like, I am the Highland.
Yeah.
I want to I thought about the last one that we did. I actually had a part of me, the egotistical part of me, wanted to play the 10 o'clock that night. Just because I think it would have been hilarious to just play the very last event, just show up and get a point.
Yeah, for sure. Oh man, no, it's we've been doing some fun stuff here, and we will have
Conversations.
this year. We will have 1Ks that's happening, at least 2 in 2022. There will be 1K events, at least 2 this next year.
Yeah,
I'm
that's
done.
always good.
I'm done fucking around, like we were talking about earlier.
But we
Magic
need to
doesn't
take
want
the
us-
tournaments for ourselves.
Magic doesn't want to support us. We're gonna do it ourselves. Fuck it. It's fine. We got this. So lots of things happening. A lot of things coming up. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be good stuff.
Fun, good interactions. That's
So-
what I like to see.
I guess after all this fucking nonsense jabber drawing that we've done, we can probably close out the stream for whatever 3 people may have listened to it all.
It's Trick or Treat Friday.
Right? You know, you can fucking settle in with your Reese's Pieces and drink yourself to sleep while eating candy and listening to the stream. Stealing your kids' candy, probably. We had Ron out. That was crazy. Ron fucking came out.
yeah.
That was
I feel
wild.
like I saw Ron. I'm like, wow, he's a threat to win this thing. Like
Yeah.
he just got
he
all
was-
the shit.
He was early, and then
he got knocked out by the primetime mirror.
yeah, he did. Yeah, I still favor Ron's deck.
Yeah.
I think so. I think
I think his was just cleaner.
it was cleaner. I think the Once Upon Times and stuff like that are very much.
Yeah. No,
What
like
is
we
needed.
said earlier, like
Yeah.
the balance of those 2 decks was the prime time deck to play. Somewhere in between those 2.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't know if you need a Zusa.
You play Azusa. I always
You
play
4
Azusa.
Zeus. I like.
But you don't need
have
4.
some-
no. 2 or 3 with the
Come on,
summer
just
bloom.
because you know 3
Yeah.
Yagma, 4 Yagma's tunes.
See, that's the thing. I don't know. I don't know if I like the summer bloom. I think I like Once Upon a Time and Green Sun. Still focusing on Azusa and not the summer bloom, because Azusa just gives you
No, I think
No,
you go.
no.
I think you go all summer bloom. Like
Yeah.
you want to go.
summer
all-
bloom. Summer bloom makes your deck so land heavy that you get into situations that we saw where it's just motherfucker drawing lands. You know, and that's
That's what the
Azusa-
Once Upon a
Azusa-
Times.
Azusa,
Once Upon a Times and Ancient Stirrings.
Sure. No, I get that, but Azusa in play always makes your bounce lands super valuable. Summer Bloom does not make your bounce lands valuable. The deck's always going to play bounce lands, but Summer Bloom, like, it's a one-shot deal. Azusa, your bounce lands with Azusa are always solid,
Yeah.
and that's the difference. So there's a balance there. There's a number there that needs to be found, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're fucking done. It was a Friday night. Thanks for tuning in, whoever did. We got like 82 followers. Thanks for following and whatever. Subscribe. I don't know what the fuck that means, but do it, I guess.
I don't think they can. I don't think we set up for that.
All right, well, whatever.
I think we have to like set terms, like because it
Set
like,
terms?
subscribe. Yeah.
That
Yeah,
sounds
like-
like bullshit. I'm not doing that.
Yeah, they
Just-
give us
just
money
listen.
or something.
I don't
you
care.
give them something in return.
Well, I don't want fucking advertisement and blood money.
They
Get
can
the
give
fuck
you
out of here.
fake coins that you can use on Twitch for.
Yeah, I don't care about all
Others
that.
fake
Just
shit.
listen. Just
Yeah.
listen. Follow and listen. You don't need to do whatever the
They're
fuck
like
that is.
our listener is a guy who actually is really into Twitch and knows the ins and outs and is like, what the fuck is this guy talking about? I don't have fake coins. Like, you're just making shit up.
Well, at the end of the day, I don't want
There
any.
go bullying.
I don't want
There we go.
advertising money anyhow. So all I care about is you fucking tuning in and then maybe getting your fucking ass out here if you can. Otherwise-
Follow us.
So, yeah, thanks to everybody that listened. Thanks to everybody that participated in said stream tonight. It was a good fucking time. Tune in next week.
Get out of the hot box.